And the reason we do this is to be able to share for those who are not able to join. So please do note that when we get to the question and answer session, your Q&A is being recorded, which is a great thing because there are other folks out there who are going to watch this that probably have some of the same questions that you do. We're able to record that and share that information with them accordingly. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. So in today's session, we're going to first cover the objectives and talk to you about what we want you to walk away from after you've been provided this information. I'm going to give you an overview of the information that's going to be shared via a live demonstration. And then Wade Gale and Tawhid Ali from the Bank of New York Mellon are going to give us a live demonstration of these functions in the MyGinnieMae portal via the Access Management Console. So we're going to walk you through a series of user management functions and also demonstrate a couple of reports that are available to you in the Access Management Console. We'll provide you some additional resources if you would like more information, and then we'll wrap up with a Q&A. And as always, we'll be collecting your feedback on how things went today. So please do take the time to complete the poll when we get to the end of the session. This training presentation will be posted on the GinnieMae website. If you go to the Issuer tab and drop down under Issuer Training, it'll be available in the Modernization section. There is a subsection there for MyGinnieMae. All of the training presentations, the recordings, any upcoming training, our user manuals, and other resources are available on that site. Next slide. So our objective for the training today is we are targeting the organization administrators in MyGinnieMae. Again, that means that you are formerly a security officer or enrollment administrator in our legacy systems of GMF 1.0 or GinnieNet, and now in the new MyGinnieMae portal, you're taking on the role of organization administrator. And there are some new responsibilities and functions that come with that, and hopefully you'll have a good sense of what those are and how to complete those functions after today's session. We're going to give you some guidance on how to review the status of an account access request. So based on the new workflows, which require organization administrators to both request and approve account access, there's a registration workflow and an access workflow to assign a functional role. We're going to talk to you about how you can view the status of those requests throughout that workflow. We're going to give you some information about how to manage end user accounts. If you need to add or remove a functional role from an account once it's established, maybe enable or disable an account, lock an account. We're going to talk you through all of those different functions once an account has been established. I'm going to give you some information on how to troubleshoot and where you can go for help. And we're also going to give you an overview of a couple of reports that are going to be extremely helpful to you via the Access Management Console in knowing the activity, based on the workflow for onboarding and providing access to your users, as well as if you need monthly accounting of the active users in the portal for your organization, how you can generate that report through the Access Management Console. Next slide. So here's a slide that should be familiar to you if you've been to any of our trainings on MyGinnieMae. This is the onboarding workflow. Two pieces to that workflow. The first one is the registration workflow, where an organization administrator sends an email invitation to an end user to complete a registration form. Once the user has completed that form, then a second organization administrator will go in and approve that request. They then proceed to the access portion of the workflow where they request a functional role or roles for that user. And then another organization administrator comes in and approves those roles before the Bank of New York as the operations administrator on behalf of GinnieMae steps in to do what's called finalization. And so we show this to you now to basically tell you that the information that we're going to be providing to you this afternoon is squarely focused on the assumption that the user has an account, meaning that registration workflow or the registration piece of the onboarding workflow has been completed. You have requested an account for the user. They have completed their registration invitation, and a second organization administrator has approved that request and established an account for the user in MyGinnieMae. So all of the functions that we will talk about today do assume that the user account has been established. Okay, next slide. And so if you attended our previous trainings, we talked a bit about how there are several functions that the organization administrator is able to assist an end user with. And there are some self-service functions the end user can manage on their own. There's just one function that the operations administrator can complete on behalf of an organization for an end user account, and that is finalization or final acknowledgement, which means that once you've requested and approved a functional role for a user, the Bank of New York is the operations administrator on behalf of GinnieMae finalizes that functional role in the system. And that is the only account management exercise that they are able to complete on behalf of end users in your organization. While they are responsible for onboarding organization administrators and giving you that security privilege, they do not play a role in onboarding and managing end user accounts on behalf of your organization. So it's important here that you understand the responsibilities you have as an organization administrator. And today we're going to talk to you about some of those functions once, again, that account has been established. We're going to talk to you about how to remove a functional role from an end user. So if you've established an account and assigned it a functional role, but that user no longer has those job function responsibilities, you'll want to remove that functional role. For security reasons, you don't want any of your users to have more access than is required by their job functions. And so it might become necessary from time to time for you to remove a functional role, and we'll talk to you about how to do that. You're also able to enable or disable an account, lock or unlock an account. So if you have a user who's no longer with your organization, you're going to want to disable their account. It might become necessary for a temporary period of time to lock an account and then unlock an account. All of those functions Wade and Tokid will cover for you today. They'll also talk to you about how to reset a password for a user account. While this is a function that a user can manage on their own using self-service functionality, they might call you for some assistance, and you are able to help them with that. And the last thing that we will cover today as it relates to account management is updating account attributes. You're able to go in and update a user's phone number, their job title, and more importantly, you're able to add an RSA token. So through the registration process, a user is asked to enter a registration RSA token, serial token number in their registration form. If their token was not available or they did not have a token at the time that they completed that step, you as an organization administrator can go back later and add an RSA serial token to the user account, and we'll talk about what you need to do to make that happen. And those are the account management functions that we're going to cover today. Next slide. So the thing that you need to know is that prior to today, we talked to you about how to onboard users into the portal. And when you got to the Access Management Console and you saw these tiles, you focused more on the new user registration tile for sending a registration invitation, and then the pending approvals tile for approving that registration and those functional roles. Today, we are going to talk to you about functions that lie in the user management tile. So when you get to the Access Management Console, it's the user management tile where all of these functions reside that we are going to show you, and you'll see that later in the live demonstration. Next slide. We're also going to talk to you about a couple, some reports that you can access that will help give you some insights into the status of an access request or the status of an end user account and whether that account is active, inactive, locked, unlocked, so on and so forth. When you're in the Access Management Console and you select the links drop down, it opens, it exposes an item called Security Reports. Within security reports are several reports, both custom and standard, that you can access to give you that information. We're going to focus today on a couple of very important reports that will help you understand, again, the status of a request going through the workflow, as well as if you need for any audit trail purposes, a monthly accounting of active users in your system. In the system, you're able to generate that report. Wade and Tokid will talk you through how to do that. Next slide. Okay, and here we go. Wade, Tokid.
Hey, thank you very much, Leticia. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Still Monday. So let's get in that driver's seat. And again, they put Wade to be the driver, which is not a safe thing. But I'm going to see if I can navigate for you until we get to the end. So as Letitia had mentioned, this is all about the org admin. So most of our process today will be concentrating on the user management tile. And if you're an org admin, you should be, as of now, used to those 4 tiles as part of your system. The new user registration access requests pending approval. But our main goal today is to talk about some of the functions on the user management. Toy. The first one is we're going to, over the last couple of weeks, you have been setting up your users, giving them access, giving them the proper functional roles. So we just want to give you an idea what some of those statuses are and what they should look like in your world actually. So first, once an access request is submitted, the system adds the functional role to the user profile with a status of pending. The role is not provisioned to the user until necessary approvals are completed. Of course, you hear about you set up this. It has to go to the second org admin for approval. Then it goes to BNY Mellon for finalization before it gets confirmed. So we just want to bring some of those stats to you. The first one we're going to look up, of course, is pending. Whenever you see that pending status, of course, that's a functional role request submitted and awaiting org admin approval. That means you're the first org admin 1 gave the functional roles. Then you're waiting for org admin 2 to do the approval. So that's when you'll see that pending status. So the next one we'll go to is approved. The functional role is approved and awaiting operation admin action. That means the second admin, designated second admin went in and did the approval. And then once that's done, it goes through the workflow and that awaits BNY Mellon as the operation admin to do the next step. Then we have finalize. There's a finalize function. The function role requests it to be finalized by the operation admin, that's us. And after we do the finalization, there's the last one you want to make sure you have and you see is confirmation. It's confirmed that those roles have been confirmed. That means it has gone through the designated flow. And now that role is available, and the user should be able, if they log in, should be able to do and perform their daily function. So we have the pending, approve, finalize, and confirm. And also, just wanted to tell you another way you can see these is by clicking on the role name. So if you click on the role name, what it does, it brings up another role status overlay. And it just gives you the full flow of what happened. You have the display name, you have the request name, request date, you have the requester, that's the person who did, then you have the approved date, then you have the approver, the finalized date, and the finalized. So and then the last status, of course, it shows is confirmed. So you can also fall right there on the role status overlay. It gives you the full and complete status until the end to the finalized, to the confirmed status. Okay. Next, let's look at add functional roles. Of course, this is key for you. You should know to do this. But there's another way of doing it. Maybe most of you might have gone out to that tile that says request access, but we're just showing you another way. Once you're in the profile page, there's a section that says request access. You can actually click on that and go to the same process of actually adding the functional roles to that end user instead of actually logging out and going to the first screen of that tile. If the end user requires a new functional role, this may be done from the user management tile in AMC within the Edit User Profile section. This request would subsequently have to be approved by another org admin and finalized by the operation admin. It's just another way of showing you how to go about to actually give the role to that end user. Now, after we've realized that we have added the roles, and we're doing just some little due diligence, just going back and looking at our stuff, and we realized that we gave some functional roles that Wade Gale did not need. There's a we want to be able to go back and remove those roles. So that's what we're going to show you. We're going to go into the section that says Manage User Permissions, and then we're just going to bring up one of the roles. Okay, I gave Wade loan delivery and pool in basic user. I realized that Wade didn't need that role. It's now in a confirmed status, but right under where it says select, I can check on that button, a box. And then what it does, it opens up down the bottom with a remove, and I can click on remove and get rid of that. You want to make sure you do the confirmation first. If an end user no longer requires access to a specific functional role, possible because of their business responsibilities have changed, the org admin are responsible for removing the role from their account. This may be done with the Manage User Permission section, what I'm just showing you. So, and that role is now revoked. It will have a status of revoked, and that person will not have that role as part of their function. You want to make sure, this is the way GinnieMae had set up the system, you only give roles and functional roles to what the person work is. If the person is not doing all the other stuff, just don't give it because it's there. Just give them exactly what they need, so when they log in, that's all they'll see. Okay. Now, of course, a lot of times, over a period of time, people might change their name. You might need to do something to their profile, and there's a couple of things you can do on the user management on the user profile. There's certain things you cannot touch or make changes to, like the display name, the login name you cannot change. Well, you as an org admin cannot make changes to those. That becomes another task. First name, middle name, last name. But you can change the person's title if you realize that you put in Miss and it should be Mr. or anything like that. You should be, or put in Mr. and you wanted to put Doctor. You have the ability to do that. And also, very good, tell you, Doctor. I like that. Dr. Wade, but it says Harry, not Gail. Oh well, we can fix that. So the next thing, it's the RSA token. This is a big deal now because you need your RSA token to do your submission. If you're using GinnieNet, if you're using MFPDM, the new multifamily system, or you're doing your monthly certification for your 17 attendees, you're going to need that RSA token. So during the initial setup, users have the ability to actually put in that 9-digit serial RSA token number. But just by chance you didn't do it, the org admin has the ability to go in and edit your profile and add that 9-digit number. So we're going to say yes, and then we're going to add that number. Once that number is in, you want to make sure you save that information. I know right here, Tawheed, you wanted to say some more stuff on this. It's all your turn.
Okay, thank you, Wade, and good afternoon, everyone. One thing to note here is once the serial number is provided by the org admin, the user will have this number associated with their account. Now, as Wade mentioned earlier, when you first register and you enter your serial number during registration, the operations team will receive an email letting them know that you do have a token and to associate it with your account. Now, for some reason, if you have not done that, the org admin or you, the admin, will be able to enter it. And once you enter it, an email will be sent out as well. Now, say if this person was not to have this token in their account, anytime a functional role that will be given to this user, an email will be sent out to you, the admin, asking you to provide the serial number. Now I'll show an example on how the email will look. So here you can see an email will come out saying a new functional role has been assigned to the user. Please assign or provide the serial number. Now, that's for the token part. Another part here you can see is the Deregister Oracle Mobile Authenticator button. This is something that we recently introduced. You'll be able to receive your one-time PIN through a smart device. And for some reason, if the user could not deregister themselves, which they have the option to, they can request you, the org admin, to do it for them. And this is the area, the location you would deregister them. And I'll hand it back to Wade to continue.
Thank you very much, sir. Just one thing for you in reference to that RSA token, the notification, you only get a notification if you added a functional role that has the RSA token as part of the entitlement. So that's the only time you'll get that notice, if you have a functional role with the RSA token. So you just want to pay close attention to it and follow the instructions if you do it after the fact. Okay, some more functions as an org admins you might end up doing is lock or unlock a user. This is usually a regular ones to us on our customer service desk. People are always asking, can you unlock me? And no, if they do call us the end users, we're going to tell them, you have to speak to your org admin because that's now their responsibility. But org admins, if you call us because you are locked or unlocked or you need to be unlocked, you can always do that and we can do that for you. But in terms of how the setup is now, you would have to try and help out your end users to do that. Okay, right there you do the lock. If someone that calls, bring up the person's profile, do the confirmation, and that ID is locked. And it can be locked for many reasons. Letitia had mentioned a couple before, maybe that you're just suspending that person's ID for a little bit, or that person might be going through transition, so that's a possibility to another job, to another area. And you want also to know if the user is locked just by looking at that lock, that padlock there. It's obvious. It's locked. If you point to it, it says the word lock. And if you want to unlock Wade Harry, a weird name, Wade Gale, you just click on the unlock button there and unlock that user. And again, this will be all you're doing now. It's not going to be my team anymore. So we're going to make reference to your end users if they call to actually speak to their org admin to actually help them out with unlocking or locking your account in terms of MyGinnieMae access. Okay. Another one that I'm sure is going to come up again is I need my account enabled, or Wade Gale is no longer with the company. He just won $1 million, so he doesn't want to stay around. So we need to disable his account. A user account may become automatically disabled due to a 90-day of inactivity. That's one of the first thing you want to remember. If you have access to MyGinnieMae and you did not log in for the full 90 days, that account is going to be disabled. Disabled also means if you had functional roles, those functional roles will go away. So you're going to need to give those roles again to those end users, and then you'll have to end up going through the flow again. That means get approval by the second org admin, and then you're going to need to get the finalization and confirmation piece from BNY Mellon. So you just want to be, I usually tell the users, try and log in at least once a day, even if you're not using it, just to keep your account current. So to disable, you'll click on that button there right at the bottom that says disable. And are you sure you want to disable Wade Harry? You said. And that account will be, what do you see for disable, Tawheed? Is there a difference in, like we saw padlock for unlock, is there something that shows up for disable?
Yes. If you go back to the list of the users in your organization, you will see that there are different signs. One which we saw was the padlock. Mm-hmm. You'll see another with the circle and a slash indicating the user is disabled. And the ones that are without any signs, you'll know that they're active users.
Okay, so those are some things that you can look for too. And we just want to encourage the org admin always to wait for the successful action ribbon to display to ensure that the action have been completed. You just want to make sure you say complete successful. Okay, another one that comes up all the time in my world is, I do not remember my password. Can you reset my password, Wade or Wade's team? You know what I'm going to tell the end users now? We're going to be very nice. We're not going to say, no, we cannot. Unfortunately, the rules have changed with the implementation of MyGinnieMae. It's now the responsibility of your org admin to do this. So the org admin is now responsible for resetting the users. That if they failed during the self-service part of it, because they can actually do that themselves. But if they fail during that time, it would be your responsibility as an org admin to go through and reset that password for them. So on the top, it just says,
so one thing to note, if the user is disabled, you will not be able to reset the password. It can only be done through a active user. So because we disabled Wade's account here, you can see that the option to reset password has been disabled.
Very good. That's a very good demo. That's very good. Now we are into an account that's active, right? So we can go in and you see that button right up there that says reset password. The org admin clicks on that. And then what happens, you see the confirmation password reset screen comes up. Are you sure you want to reset the password of such and such? A new random generated password will be created and emailed to the user. So the user will need to look out for that password in their email trail. It's not going to be coming to you as the org admin that you can forward to them. It's going to come to them because it's only they should know what that temp password is, and they'll be able to go in and make the change and set up a new password so they can have access to MGM. So those are some of the administrative functions that I'm sure that you'll be doing as time goes on, as you accept or was given the new role as an org admin. We want to also take you to another piece of the system. Through org admin, there's also, you might be responsible for giving some printing monthly reports, daily report, weekly report, depends on how your company is. You might need some of those things for auditing purposes. So we just thought we would set up some reports that we think you will find useful and where you can find them. Right up the top of there where you see link, you're going to click the section that says Security Report. And in Security Report, we're going to click the area that says Catalog Folders, and then Administrative Reports. And then you'll see a bunch of reports that you can actually select or look at. We're going to concentrate today on the one that says AMC Functional Role History, Request History. I'm going to click on Open, and then I'll just let Toid, you do your thing.
Thank you, Wade. So here, once we click on the report we want to generate, the system will load all the data and give us columns and rows with the detail. Here you have your request ID, user login, and other necessary details that you need. Now, also note here you have the option to export this report in different formats, such as PDF or Excel, or even PowerPoint if you need. So one thing to note, in Excel, you can sort or filter the list of the report based on what you like. You can also do this and sort and filter on the screen here by just clicking on the header information. So for example, if we want to filter or sort based on the user status, we can click on the drop down and we can filter or sort through here. So if I only want to see, say, pending, I will only select pending and click OK. And any roles or users that has the pending status will show.
You want to give you one more? Is it my turn, Toid? I don't want to step on you.
No, you can go ahead. We do have another report that we will look at. It's the Home Organization User List, Org Admin View. And so to do this, we'll go back and click on Home and do the same process where we go onto Catalog folder, and from there we select the report that I just mentioned, Org Admin View, and then we'll open this report as well. And here we will see, just like before, how we can sort or filter by active users. So here under Status, we can click on the drop-down, and we can select active or disabled. So say we want active, we click active and OK. And all the users in this organization that are active will show. And again, you can export this to Excel, PDF, or other reports or other formats. Wade?
Okay, thank you, sir. And you can also explore. There are a lot more reports you can do some exploration in during your time. And also you can check out the AMC User Manual. So that will give you some more information and also some more direction on how to print some of those reports, what I think will help you with some of your MGM processing, some of your audit report findings that you might have to supply to auditors when they're doing their internal check, maybe user lockout or password exploration, stuff like that. They might need to see just because of access in the system. So that is our little ride through the functions or some of your activity as an org admin, and then we kind of end up right there at some of the reports that we think you will be able to use as part of your process. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you over to Letitia so we can go forward in our session.
Thank you, guys. So we switch over here. A couple things that I want to do before we kick off our question and answer session is I want to go over where you can go for some help. But first, I want to ask you to please make sure that you complete the survey. We take your feedback extremely seriously. It makes it all the way to the president of GinnieMae, and we work hard to try and improve upon the information that we're giving you and to answer all your questions. So if you open up the chat, there is a link in there that Ian has provided to you for a survey to provide us feedback on today's session, how onboarding is going, any other comments or feedback that you have for us. Please do enter that in the feedback survey. So there are several resources out there for you to help you go get help. The first one is the modernization page on the GinnieMae website. There's lots of information up there. We will be posting today's presentation. The other thing that we will be doing, or we have done, is posting the recordings from each of our sessions. If you would like to attend a future session, we have training dates that are up for some of our future sessions. There are training materials. There's also user manuals. The user manuals have been created in such a way that they provide you step-by-step instructions along with photos, screenshots, I should say, to help you through many of these processes. So please make sure that you're using the user manuals. For the functions that we covered today, you're going to want to look at the Access Management Console user manual. That's the user manual for the AMC application, which organization administrators access. Please use that user manual. You're going to find a lot of great information in there. The other things that you can do, you can join our Thursday weekly listening sessions. We host that every Thursday that we do not have a pre-scheduled training, and we have experts online to answer any questions and collect feedback that you might have on the portal. Those sessions are an open forum for you to come, ask questions, get some technical assistance. You are encouraged to attend those sessions. The call details are listed on the modernization page of the GinnieMae website. So you can get those call details there. You are also invited to contact GinnieMae customer support if you have technical questions or issues accessing the portal. As an organization administrator, we recognize there are additional responsibilities in MyGinnieMae that you did not have in legacy systems, and you might need some help with that. And we're happy to support you and provide you the information that you need. So if you need to reach out to Wade's team, GinnieMae customer support, there's information here, 1-833-GNMA-HELP. That's 1-833-466-2435, or GinnieMae1 at bnymellon.com. You can reach them there, and they are happy to assist you, and they do a great job of that. So please, if you have technical questions, contact GinnieMae customer support. If you have general feedback, questions about training, user materials, any other general inquiries as it relates to MyGinnieMae onboarding, you can reach out to the GinnieMae Customer Experience Group. That's cxg@hud.gov, and we are able to answer those general inquiries for you at that email address. So we're about to begin our question and answer portion. There's several ways that you can participate. The first one is at the bottom of your screen, you have the ability to raise your hand. If you joined today's audio using your laptop, if you go to the bottom of your screen and raise your hand, it will indicate for Ian that you need your line unmuted so that you can ask a question over the line. If you joined us today on a telephone, please hit *9 on your phone line, and we will be provided an indicator that you would like to ask a question so that we can unmute your phone line. So again, if you joined the audio on the computer, raise your hand from the bottom of the screen. If you joined the audio on a phone line, please hit *9 so that you can ask your question. And if you happen to be just a little bit shy, you are also welcome to type your question into the Q&A, and we will address your questions via the Q&A session as well. Ian, do we have any questions on the line? Okay, I don't have any questions on the line according to Ian. I do have a question in the chat about when we are going to post the recording from today's call. So that is not an instant posting. There's actually about 3 different resources that it has to pass through before it's posted to the website. So that generally does take a couple of days. So if you check back closer to the middle or end of this week, we should have this recording posted. But also note that this is not our first time hosting this session. We did host this session without a live demo And the recording from that call is on the website. Of course, the live demonstration offers a lot more insight and better feel for the portal, so we do want to get this recording up as soon as possible. But we are going to need a couple days to get that up for you. So do hang on. About the middle to late this week, we will post the recording from today's call. And again, if you're looking for any of the resources that we're talking about here, including the recording, the modernization page on GinnieMae.gov is where you go for that information. Our user manuals, recordings, additional call details for our weekly listening sessions, as well as future trainings, are all available on the modernization page of the GinnieMae website. So if you go to GinnieMae.gov, you hover over the Issuers tab, it'll open up a drop down, and underneath Issuer Training, you will see the word Modernization. When you click on that, it takes you to the Modernization page where there is a section for MyGinnieMae, and all of the resources that we are discussing right now, including those recordings, user manuals, and everything else are available right there in the MyGinnieMae section on the Modernization page of the GinnieMae website. Ian, do we have any other questions on the line?
Sorry, was muted. No, nothing at this time.
Okay. Okay, folks, as I said, we really do take your feedback very seriously. You provide us a lot of help and insights when you complete those surveys. So please make sure you take just a couple moments to provide us some feedback about how today's training session went. If there's additional training that you would like for us to provide, if there are other topics that we have not covered that you want to hear about, we could always do that in a weekly listening session. We just need to know that from you. So Ian has again posted that link in the chat. If you navigate to the chat, either at the bottom of your screen or on the side of your screen, select that link, take a couple minutes, fill out that survey, and provide us your feedback. Thank you for joining us today. A special thank you to Wade Gale and Tawhid Ali for the live demonstration that they offered us, and to Ian Post for coordinating this call. I thank you all for joining us, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you.